everyone, and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Sunday. It's a weekly dose. It's a weekly dose of the internet for Sunday. Which Sunday is it? It is December 16th. It's your 526th dose of the internet. I am Michael Schwan. Nathan should be here. I talked to him yesterday. I gave him his late birthday, early Christmas present yesterday, and I don't know where he is. So, that said, the show must go on. So please remember, everyone, you can help support the show by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet, picking up some of our merchandise in the link below, as well as, sending us anything you want us to talk about or questions you have, anything like that, to any of our contact channels: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit. All of those are at iReaditCast. Send us anything you like. Now, since currently I am alone, I'm going to provide that normal warning that I provide to everybody of that I need to drink water, and I normally do that, or coffee. Coffee's in front of me. And I normally do that when Nathan is talking, but I don't have that luxury today. So, there will be some pauses here and there. Do not worry. It is not your headphones dying. It is not your connection dying. It might be. But for the most part, it is most likely me taking a nice big sip of some sort of beverage. And that is actually my first drink of coffee today, and that makes me really happy. Anyway, all of that aside, hello everybody. I hope you're having a great Sunday morning. I hope you've had a good week. Mine's been busy and hectic and crazy, but that's okay. It's been a fun time. You got a lot of stuff done. Life is progressing along well. It's progressing along nicely, and let's hope that that continues to be the case. But, so, without being able to ask Nathan about, what his week contained, or what he, how tired he is, what his pop culture name is today, we're just going to roll right along into it. So, with that said, 10. Vatican number 3 Cardinal George Pell convicted on charges he sexually abused choir boys. Well, this was submitted by, it's too small. Admiral Akbar 1 to Our World News. So, it has been borderline known for a really long time that a lot of the bishops and stuff at the Vatican, it's just a lot of, there's jokes all the time about, Catholic priests, touching little boys. And while that joke exists for a reason, it's definitely never actually, gotten anywhere. Well, it's slowly starting to get in somewhere. The number 3, the third most powerful official at the Vatican, was convicted on all charges that he sexually abused 2 choir boys. This was through Australia, because the abuse did occur while he was in Australia. If you are looking for a response from the Pope or the Vatican, you will not There's a person there. I can't answer it. There we go. I got it answered. It is a Nathan. Let me move to this slide. Oh, there he is. He's alive. He is awake, everybody.
My alarm went off wrong. It went off at 9.
Well, that's the time that we start.
Uh-huh.
Hello, friend. Welcome. We're talking about Catholic priests being convicted of touching little boys.
So, yeah, normal stuff.
Yeah, except it's not just people saying that they do, and someone actually saying, no, you did, and you're gonna go jail for it.
About time.
In this case, this is George Pell, who is the 3rd ranking official at the Vatican. He is one of the cardinals, and he's also the treasurer for the Vatican.
Oh, so he handles all the money.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good thing.
Which is also raising a question who's paying for his legal fees?
The Vatican.
I was most likely the Vatican.
They're not supposed to have payment as priests, aren't they?
I don't know. I have no idea. Welcome, sir. Welcome. I'm glad to see that you are alive and well. I see that you do still have on your Christmas present / birthday present.
I was sleeping in it.
Was it nice and cozy?
Yeah.
Good. For those that cannot
sweaty,
see, Nathan is wearing a wonderful JoJo's Bizarre Adventure sweater as he's trying to lean back in order to actually.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, I was just waiting for you to bite it. We'll pause in between here. How are you, sir? Besides sleepy, how's your week been?
I was really busy at the beginning of the week. It was fucking shitty. Otherwise, the week was not bad. Yeah, aside from the beginning where it started off like a fucking super hectic fucking week, the rest of the week was really chill.
That's good. That's cool.
Oh, God, still tired.
What time did you go to bed last night?
I don't know, 4?
Yeah, I can imagine you're tired then. You gonna do the show and go back to bed?
Probably.
Good plan. Moving along.
9.
Give me seats. Look at me. Jumped way too far ahead. We're going with number 9. Comcast rejected by small town. Residents vote for municipal fiber instead.
This was submitted by Swig Admin to our technology.
So in the fine state of Massachusetts, a small town of like 1,200 people is rejected Comcast in favor of spending a little bit more money to have their own municipal run fiber.
Well,
Comcast said that they were a fool to reject their offer because of the money that it would have saved had they chosen Comcast. They would have been able to provide service to about 96% or more of the citizens for a cost of around $450,000. If the municipality wants to implement fiber themselves, then it's going to cost around $1.4 million.
I'm just saying, you don't make deals with the devil.
Nope. What's happening here?
That's definitely a deal with the devil. You don't want to deal with Comcast no matter what.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's not a lot to say about that besides Comcast, you're horrible people. And, yeah, thanks. Go away.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, but fingers crossed.
It's a nice thought, right?
Yeah.
It is a nice thought.
8.
Maria Butina pleads guilty, is first Russian national convicted of seeking to influence U.S. policy around the time of the 2016 election.
This is submitted by Pips Don't Squeak to our technology. Or no, World News Technology. Fuck, I'm fucking... Bleh.
Things are happening, Nathan.
Stuff is happening.
Indictments, convictions.
The train is now fully rolling. Everyone is now in their seats.
We're starting to see results.
Chugga chugga. Because I'm excited. I've been waiting. Like, everything's finally starting to pay off.
Yeah, there's so this is literally just tied to the Russians that were trying to make deals, unofficial ties to different officials during the 2016 election. But there's an interesting thing that occurred recently. 2 days ago on December 14th, there was a hearing held at the Supreme Court building in Washington, D.C. I forget what building was specifically. But there is no knowledge at all about what was being heard. They blocked off the entire floor. You weren't allowed anywhere on the entire floor. Press wasn't allowed anywhere close.
So there was some important shit being talked about.
The current belief is that it's actually involves
about the president.
Yeah, Mueller's investigation, and that tied to the president of the United States.
Makes sense, because like he's supposedly written all over that, right?
Supposedly.
So of course they're gonna want to not talk about it to potentially reveal things that they're not supposed to have.
Not yet, anyway.
But that's that'll be a portion of that for another day. This one here is pretty exciting.
Yep. I mean, The thing is like we've known for a long time about the different Russians trying to get different deals and stuff put through. It's just a matter of being able to actually get them.
Yeah, it's hard to point fingers, or it's easy to point fingers, but it's hard to
actually get some handcuffs out and be able to say what you're charging them with.
Exactly.
Besides, you guys are a bunch of shitlords.
Yeah, 100%. You can't charge someone for being a shitlord.
Oh God, if you could,
I'd be in prison.
The private prisons would just be psyched because they'd just be full within a week.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like we wouldn't have enough room for everybody.
No, I mean we already don't.
America does. We have shitloads of undeveloped land that's not even used for farming or even.
Yeah, but we're not going to be putting private prisons on those undeveloped lands.
No, Nathan. Instead, what we do is we just turn an entire city like New York or L.A. into a prison city, and just leave them.
And then we have a movie called Escape from New York or L.A.
No. I mean, why would you need to escape?
Because you're escaping the prison system. Why would you need to escape? Why would people need to breathe? Like, human nature says that it is important for you to escape from captivity.
That's true.
That's why if you try to break out of prison, like in, I think certain places in Europe, they don't even charge you.
Yeah, well, if you are successful in breaking out of prison, they don't charge you or anything. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you fail, then they just throw you back in and be like, "Yo, no, bad."
I don't think they add more to your sentence or anything.
Probably not.
7.
Girl dies of dehydration while in border control custody. Had not eaten for days.
Submitted by deleted to our news.
Guess who sucks?
Us?
We do.
Yeah.
We suck a lot. Bad. Tied in directly to this, a death of a Guatemalan toddler detained by ICE is also sparking a $60 million legal claim.
This is submitted by Kindly Touch XX to our news.
So in both of these cases, here's basically what happened. Young kiddo, whether it is a toddler or a 7-year-old, is exhibiting signs of weakness and sickness and are not being given proper medical treatment, and which then results in them passing away.
What are you talking about? They're given proper medical treatment?
Nope.
Those guys told them to buck up, kiddo.
That's not medical treatment.
Yeah, it is. Ask my grandma.
This isn't 1790 on the Wild West.
Really? You could have fooled me.
Oh, I know.
How many people are playing Red Dead?
I have no idea what even rough year Red Dead is set in, but sure.
I know it's in the Wild West. Oh.
It is 1899. This isn't 1899 in the Wild West, Nathan.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. But it'd be a lot cooler if it was.
It would be a lot cooler if it was. I don't think so. I really actually like modern day amenities.
Makes one of us.
That's fine.
I don't know how to work the microwave. I'll stand there for hours trying to press buttons. Damn microwave work! Damn it!
But you know what it is, and you know what it does.
Well, yeah.
If only you were smart enough to actually operate
about it. We just don't know how it works.
Radiation.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess we know how it works. I just don't know how it works.
6.
Judge halts Keystone XL pipeline, citing complete disregard for climate.
Finally, this is submitted by Newsmom to our news.
So the Keystone XL pipeline had tons of protests and stuff around it, got shut down, was reapproved by the Trump administration. Trump administration sends out literally a 1-page report saying that they approve it with very little backing or anything on it, just saying, yeah, we want this. A judge in Montana has looked at it and goes, you didn't provide why this is a good idea beyond some money that, and even then it doesn't pay itself off for over 40 years. And I don't see a reason to put faith in fossil fuels over the next 40 years. So all I see is detrimental effects both to our country as well as the environment. So fuck you, no.
That's some smart That's just common sense. Like, think about it. We are slowly moving away from coal. Coal's practically dead. Why would gas be any different?
Coal's really dead. The only places that coal is still used at all is places that don't have the money to switch yet.
What are you talking about? Oh, China uses it all the time.
Places that don't want to spend the money to switch yet.
We're talking about coal later on. I didn't even notice that.
Yep, totally are.
I feel like this is just a slow step. If we get things like, Anwar going up here, that might also be halted.
We can hope. Like, the problem is, and not to bring something back to to something we've discussed many times over the last 526 episodes, is that, like, everything's slowly going to change anyway. The problem is, especially for, like, us in the state of Alaska, is Alaska doesn't actually have that many ways to make money. We were very reliant on oil for a very long time. And
We're going to be now reliant on tourism.
Well, we don't have enough tourism, though, is the problem.
Fresh water.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's being solved in other ways. So even then, that's not even working great
We just need a pipeline.
Yes.
From Alaska to California.
A water pipeline?
Yeah.
Oh
no, what if the water pipeline bursts?
Oh,
fuck.
Damn it. We watered the trees.
Contaminate everywhere.
Shit.
Well, I guess it could flood, but aside from that.
Yeah. But the realistic problem is that we are hitting levels of points where, like, especially like for the state of Alaska, that we are not only cutting off, but completely removing the possibility of other streams of revenue, which goes into the point of, like, we don't need necessarily to force those old revenue to work. Like, we don't need to force oil to work. But we do need to instead start looking at and addressing the problems moving forward that stuff like that is going to have.
You just let it die.
Well, I mean more along the lines of, like, do we need to look at universal basic income, get the federal government stronger involved with state funding for the states that don't have ways to actually sustain themselves?
I gotta keep that federal government out of my goddamn state government. It's like putting peanut butter with jelly. It just doesn't belong.
5.
You cut me deep just now. Congress to make members pay out of pocket for sexual harassment settlements.
They weren't before?
No.
This is submitted by Doug MC to R Not the Onion.
So there's a couple things that I need to just bring up real quick for clarification. This only requires them to pay out of pocket for settlements and judgments. Everything else will still be covered.
Lawyers' fees and everything?
Everything else will still be covered.
That's some bullshit.
But if they sexually harass someone and as part of that investigation and judgment, they're like, you got to pay them $117,000 for damages. They have to pay that out of pocket. Everything else, though, will be covered by the American government.
That's some bullshit still. I don't want to pay for your dickscapades. Bleh.
On one hand, no, I don't want to pay for it. On a second hand, we have seen instances where they weren't convicted of it, and it would be like most of them are normally so well off that they'd be perfectly fine. I just don't want to see that one niche situation appear where one member of Congress gets just completely bankrupted out of their entire soul because one person didn't like them and just ran them through with legal fees.
So I have a plan.
Which is?
In order to be a politician, you must be sterilized.
Okay.
So that way we no longer have an oligarchy. We don't have to worry about, people's sons and daughters being hired into the governments and whatnot.
Yeah, that happened up here in Alaska just at the last election.
Yep. And so we won't have to worry about that. Everyone will be sterile. No, that's really about it. It's important.
That doesn't solve the problem if they had children before they came into office. Do we just execute the children?
Away with them.
Yeah, just execute them.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you've been elected.
You won.
Johnny, Sally. All right.
Time to make some change.
You can take your office now. Even worse, you walk over to them and hand them a pistol. It's got to be done.
Look, you're about to kill our fucking country. You're about to kill our state. So you got to kill your children to show that you're ready.
No, Mama, he was my dog. I'll do it. We are horrible people.
Yeah, absolutely.
4,
Climate change conference erupts into laughter as United States rep promotes coal.
This is submitted by Frisker to Our World News. Don't go promoting coal. Not nowadays, you fucking dumbass.
It hurts. Hey, nerds. Hey, Chadwick. Hey, you. I don't got any insult for you. All right, you're an all right guy.
He sounds like the rival from the first Pokemon game.
Hey, nerd.
Smell you later.
About to kick your ass with my Squirtle. Well, that's, bucko, is where you're wrong. I'm gonna murder your Eradicate.
You don't have to bring that up. I tried to get past that. I went to therapy.
I like how that isn't a thing in the Let's Go games, by the way. First off, your rival in the Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee games is the nicest goddamn dude ever in Pokemon. Like,
That's not true.
he even makes Howl look like a dickbag.
There's plenty of others. The people from X and Y were really nice to you.
On top of that, though, instead of your rival, well, your rival is there, but you were trying to help a Cubone connect to his lost mother, Marowak, in Lavender Town.
Oh, so like normal.
Yeah.
Neat.
Quite fun. Anyway, so welcome, nerd. I'm a nerd. You're a nerd. We're all nerds. Welcome to.
I'm a nerd.
Welcome to
You're
nerddom.
a nerd. She's a nerd.
So
and we're all nerds.
We literally became the laughing stock again. We're like, yeah, Cole's the best. You guys,
just
stop being the dumb.
Cole is not the best. Let that fucking thing die.
It's actually almost nearly the worst.
It not only does it cause problems in our atmosphere, it causes problems in people's lungs when they're fucking mining it out.
And then feeding into the same thing.
3,
United States, Saudis, Kuwait, and Russia block climate report.
This is submitted by Jay Kirsch to Our World News.
So the
Wait a second. Are you telling me the 3 countries that benefit most from oil and other things that are directly inhibitive to the climate are the 3 countries that said no to a climate report?
Yes, that is exactly what I'm telling you.
What?
Yep.
No. That's
so as part of the climate change conference that took place in Poland, back in 2015, they had actually commissioned a study to be conducted on the continuously changing effects of the environment, climate, weather, etc. And the report, which has now been finished, the report has now shown that the world is completely off track in terms of where it should be in terms of progress-wise. We are looking at a 3 degrees Celsius increase around the world rather than just 1.5 degrees Celsius. We are hoping to not exceed 2 degrees Celsius because once you exceed that 2 degrees, then we're going to hit a major, major problem when it comes to the world. And if this report had been adopted, it would have meant some things needed to change because it would have meant that the world recognized that we're about to just set ourselves on fire. However, unexpectedly, unexpectedly, the United States, the Saudis, Kuwait, and Russia.
not unexpectedly.
They said that they don't agree with the report. They think it's a bunch of malarkey.
That is why we're the laughing stock. Sure, Chadwick Macron is doing pretty decently with his climate initiatives in France, but
He's trying.
we are actually a laughing stock.
So, yeah, that's super awesome fun time. Like the thing is like when you are it's not even necessarily about the ignorance and ignoring the problem that is existing in the world. It is also the idea of that, like, not only does this one make us look like the ultimate dickbags to the planet, but it also just continuously further aligns us with Saudi Arabia and Russia, which I don't want to be on that side. I don't like that side of the fence, okay?
Yeah, it's a pretty bad side of the fence.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyway.
I'd rather have our
2.
old allies.
Michael Cohen sentenced to 3 years in prison.
Oh, surprise, surprise. It's submitted by Daramo X to our news.
Yep, Michael Cohen, the former lawyer of President of the United States, Donald Trump.
Man, that's crazy.
He's
Some girl defends herself from a rapist and she gets 51 years. This guy commits treason and it's only 3 years.
Welcome to being a rich white man.
I guess it's not quite treason. It's just, you know, breaking campaign finance laws.
Well, I mean, yeah, but the interesting thing about this is, like, one, Michael Cohen did decide to work on a plea agreement and worked alongside the Mueller investigation. Still got 3 years in prison and 3 years of supervision afterwards. But I guess, I mean, all things considered, that isn't that bad considering how long he could have went to prison if he decided to not cooperate and then they discovered that he was a piece of trash anyway.
That's what's up.
But beyond that, with that also involved, though, this does mean not great things for everyone else that is involved with Michael Cohen. In fact, Sean Hannity has been deleting almost all of his Michael Cohen tweets.
This was submitted by Successful Operation to Our Politics. Not quite a successful operation.
No, not quite. But
reporting about it.
Sean Hannity did want to be associated with Michael Cohen because, you know, there's that whole thing of like, hey, we found this guy was doing dirty, dastardly shit, and we can use his stuff to tie into your shit because you're a dirty, dastardly dude too.
That's I like this. This is good, especially since he implicated Trump did a felony.
Well, and even beyond that, one of the interesting things that is coming up now is that one of the questions was like, okay, well, Michael Cohen doesn't have to tell them anything about what Trump did because of attorney-client privilege. However, that's actually not the case if the attorney and their client willingly work together to do something illegal. I don't remember the year, but basically a judge said, like, you lose your confidentiality agreement if you are working together to do illegal shit. And so a lot of people immediately think that means that, like, oh man, Trump's fucked. He can't even hide behind his attorney anymore. I don't know. I mean, there has to be something there. Like, just because
I would say you would normally still be able to hide behind your attorney, except his attorney is it Rudy Giuliani?
Yeah, now Rudy Giuliani.
So you should not be hiding behind that man.
That's a bad man to hide behind. Every time he opens his mouth on TV, I'm like, did you even think about what you said?
You are a lawyer. Stop. What are you fucking doing?
I think he's enjoying spotlight is what he's doing.
Oh, God, you old fool.
Like, I think he's getting his 15 minutes of fame right now, and he's enjoying it, and he's not using it well.
Not by any stretch, no.
So, maybe, though. I don't know. I don't want to understand that man currently.
1.
Hollywood superstar Keanu Reeves has secretly been financing countless children's hospitals.
This is submitted by Khaleesi24 to Our Uplifting News.
Keanu Reeves. Sad Keanu.
I don't get it.
What don't you get?
If it costs so much to even be in a hospital, as well as, you know, like the random person that takes a step into a hospital and gets slapped with a $500 fucking bill for practically nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If everyone's constantly paying money, all of these insurance companies are constantly paying money. How do hospitals still consistently not have enough to fund certain things like their children's programs?
Well, okay, so there's a lot of different things that can apply in that instance. I mean, because while he, first off, real quick, Keanu Reeves has a private foundation. We don't even know the name of it. He doesn't talk about it. He has admitted that it exists, but he doesn't actually promote this in terms of like a publicity stunt or anything like this. He has a private organization that is funding several children's hospitals, and that is about all we know.
I just don't understand why hospitals need funding when
okay.
It's like you have to pay more than an arm and a leg to even be seen by a fucking doctor.
Now, to answer your question, one, like I said, we don't know what or where these hospitals are. For instance, it could be paying for a children's hospital in Africa that there is no money there. So they still have to have, you know, power and food and supplies and stuff. So like he could be paying for everything there. So that's one possibility. When it comes to the places that we do know about that, like, you know, they get to charge people money and all that kind of stuff. Like we'll say a hospital here in America. The problem comes in a few different areas. Okay. One is that they charge too much money and nobody has any money. So they rely on insurance, right? So let's say you break your leg, you get into an ambulance, you're driven to the hospital, they have to do surgery on you to put your leg back together, and they get out, and the total bill is $100,000, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You're not paying that, but thankfully, you have insurance, so you probably have to pay like $5,000 out of pocket, and the insurance, quote, takes care of, it, quotes, covers the other $95,000. But what that means, though, is that first, the insurance will see if there's a way they can get out of it. Next, the insurance companies very commonly will work on agreements with the hospital or in any type of insurance because they know the price is inflated. They can pay less than what you see. So, like, we know, like, we'll say that, you know, it was $100,000, but realistically, the total operating cost of that was, we'll say, $4,000 for everything, maybe. The insurance company knows that, and so they will negotiate that $95,000 down to like $10,000. The other thing is
they just haggle and shit.
Yeah, it's like because of the way that American insurance works, it's like we're going to cover it. But if you want any money from the insurance company, we're only going to pay you this much because we know that this price is inflated. And then it also feeds into like insurance disputes, so they might not even get that money for quite some time. Like I remember when I was going to see a psychologist, that was covered by insurance. And because I was on Medicaid at the time, and he was talking to me about the process, because every time I went to see him once a week, and he would fill out the paperwork for the insurance claim to be paid the like $115 for my once a week visit, and he would not see the money from it for 6 months minimum.
That's crazy.
Because of how long it took to process insurance claims.
Well,
so
hopefully you've been working for at least 6 months, because goddamn.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of things that can feed into that of like why they don't get enough money to operate.
Said, I kind of dig how the insurance companies are like, whoa, that's fucking too much. You need to cool it.
Well, I think the reason that the number is so much is because the hospital also knows that the insurance companies are going to essentially knock a zero off of the end. And so
it's like when you go and file small claims against somebody. I always suggest to file small claims against someone who has for higher than the amount that you want.
So that when it
always knock it down.
So that when it's agreed upon, it's closer to what you actually want/need.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's really where a lot of this feeds into as well.
That's pretty cool, though.
So it's not cool. No, it actually sucks a lot. But
no, I mean, I guess I should rephrase. It's pretty cool that Keanu is helping.
Yeah, he's also helping fund cancer research, which is also great.
Why would you fund cancer?
Cancer research.
Why would you fund the
treatment,
ability
Nathan,
to figure out
curation,
how to make more cancer?
No, Ted, get rid of it.
Don't fund cancer research, guys. It's bad.
God damn it, Nathan. Yeah, fund cancer awareness instead, because that's a good use of money.
Yep. There's cancer. It's there. Cool. We know it's there.
Stupid, shitty ass garbage.
God.
Incidentally, as a note to everybody, do not fund cancer awareness. It is literally
blank awareness.
It is literally just that. Trying to help people be aware that it exists. If you are trying to help a cause, trying to raise awareness about it does not actually solve the problem. You are
I mean, all right, so hold on. Let's backtrack slightly, right? So raising awareness on an issue can be important and can be very beneficial. However, I do not believe that funding the awareness portion of it should be anywhere near as much as funding the actual try for a cure for it.
The hope is that if you pay $10 to cancer awareness, that they will go out and find 10 people that will also spend $10 and they will give it to cancer research instead. That's not normally how it works though, because those awareness foundations are really greedy assholes that just want to funnel more money through themselves.
I have like a vacuum that specifically hooks into a bag of money that they're constantly using.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Cancer research, or X research, is that. It is researching the problem, researching the topic to try and find a better way to deal with it. So just be aware of where you're sending your charity money to if you do so.
No, wait, hold on. Don't be aware, send it to the Cure for Charity money.
Yes, that one.
Okay.
Yes. What you said.
There you go.
Chadwick says basically dicks, just a buffet of dicks.
But are they like different sizes laid out nicely? Does some of them have garnish on it? Like,
yes.
Are they tasty dicks, or is it just like a buffet of gross dicks?
Nathan, what did you care about over the last week?
I mean, I really like this sweater. The sweater's awesome.
I'm glad.
Here, hold on. Oh, motherfucker. Ran over my own headphones. I gotta be able to see too.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna quickly be a nerd. So it says Joe instead of ho 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 on the front here. This beautiful motherfucker looks like Prince, not Prince. All right, that is Josuke Higashikata. There's Rohan Kishabe. He is a manga artist, and when he draws manga, it changes people's memories because he draws it in the inside of your face. We have Okuyasu, who is my personal favorite. He's got this ability called the Hand, and he can swipe his hand over something and just erase that thing out of existence. We have Koichi. Koichi is a weak little baby who gets stabbed by an arrow to give him stand powers, and he just dies. But because he's got a healing ability, he heals him, and his stand is like an egg, and then it hatches, and it like grows. It's like one of the only growing stands that change. And then that is Jotaro. He's the main character of season 3, but he's helping out in season 4. And then down here, this little cat guy is the main bad guy's stand, and that is Killer Queen, who's got cool abilities like sheer heart attack and bites the dust.
Those are pretty fantastic.
It's pretty cool. It's Kira Yoshikage's stand, and what it does is sheer heart attack is a small tank, and it rolls around and like buries into people's bodies and explodes. And then Killer Queen's a little bit more complicated. He like plants something in somebody's memory, and then it causes the people to blow up when they realize it's him.
Well,
but it also fucks with time, and it like rewinds time. I don't know. It's fucking weird.
I'm glad that you enjoy your present, sir.
And then aside from that, if you guys haven't watched Future Man on Hulu, absolutely do it. I watched the first like 4 episodes and had stopped like for a year. So like the first 4 episodes are really good. It's really funny. But once you get past that, it catapults, and I was constantly doubled over in pain from laughing too hard. It felt like they had stabbed my laugh sac and started twisting the knife. But it's about this kid played by Josh Hutcherson who finally beats a level in a video game that nobody's ever beaten, and then 2 people from the future teleport back in time and are like, whoa, you beat the game. You're the person who's going to help us in the future, stop the bionic crisis and everything. And he's like, whoa, that's fucking cool. But he's kind of a shrimpy little dude. So their goal is to, he's the janitor to this giant company that's trying to get rid of cold sores. But that company leads to the destruction of mankind in the future. So he has to get his newfound future friends to kill his boss in order to change the forward in time portion.
All right, cool.
There's at one part they get stranded in the previous time. They can only jump at like once, but if they do, they're stranded. So they have to find out where to get fuel for their time machine. The fuel for their time machine is called Cameronium, named after the guy who found it, James Cameron. And they have an entire episode praising James Cameron in his house, which is a smart house called Sigourney.
Ow.
It's so good. That's
the opposite of good.
There's like a part where he's like, the robot house is like, and James Cameron has even invented his own language, Na'vi. And the guy who's like stuck in this area learns Na'vi while he's like hanging out with the smart house, and him and the smart house start like falling in love and almost dating and shit.
All right. Well,
it physically hurts. It is so funny. I think it's written by Seth Rogen even.
God, that sounds atrocious.
It's got Haley Joel Osment in it too.
I'm also going to nerd out for a minute as well. I had talked about it at some point previously. I had randomly discovered this series called Grand Blue Fantasy. Now,
see, I thought you were gonna say I randomly discovered the series called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
That wouldn't be random. I was
gonna be like, "Yo, just tell me more about this."
That wouldn't be random.
What are you talking about? It's totally random. It's bizarre.
God. Anyway, so it's called Grand Blue Fantasy. Now, in terms of its origin, it is a mobile phone game that has been like the #1 phone game in Japan for like 2 years straight. Or something ridiculous like that, like 4 years or some ungodly amount of time. Anyway, the reason that I got even aware of it is one of the largest rumors for one of the Smash character DLCs is a character named Catalina from that series. And when I was like, who is this person? I went and looked, and I had talked previously about this really beautiful RPG that is coming out for PlayStation 4 called Grand Blue Relink. Well, couple other things on that. One, a new trailer for that game dropped yesterday, including 15 minutes of gameplay, and the game is ridiculously gorgeous. It's made by Platinum Games, so if you like games like Bayonetta or Nier Automata, then you're in the right place, because they're the ones that do that nice, awesome, action-y combat stuff. But even beyond that, there has also been another game for Grand Blue announced, except I need to find out what its actual name is, because I just, it is called Grand Blue Versus. God damn it, of course I couldn't remember that. It is a 2D fighting game that is being made by Arc System Works, which is also really awesome and looks great. Arc System Works are the people that made series such as Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue. They made Cross Tag Battle just recently. So if you like any of those 2D fighting games, there is another one coming from those people called Grand Blue Fantasy that features the characters from this new world. And it looks gorgeous. I'm really excited that we are hitting the point in video game technology that I've wanted for like 15 years, and that is that video games now have the ability to look like anime and run smoothly and well and function well, but still retain that absolute gorgeous level of style that can be achieved.
Especially with its with the like smooth transitionings from gameplay into cutscenes.
Yeah.
Like Resident Evil really kicked off with that in Resident Evil 4, but like it's really catapulted, you know?
It's because of the immersive experience is something that's really important. Like I'm really like, as much I haven't played it, but I'm really glad that God of War did so insanely well and also won Game of the Year, because there were so many video game companies that are like, single player experiences are dead. We need to move to games as a service model. Players don't want single player experiences. And that's so wrong. It's no different than movies or books. Video games, there's a lot of us out here that just want to be told an awesome story, just get to interact and be part of that story. And so stop thinking that you just need to sell us a subscription to be able to play Call of Duty. Like,
Yeah, right? Like, let me sit down and actually play my war game here. I don't want to fucking be told every time I play a game that my mom is a fucking whore and that this 12-year-old child has had sex with her recently.
yeah.
Just things that don't need to happen.
So I'm excited about both of those games coming out. They
On top
both,
of that, stop buying your children Call of Duty.
yeah, please. There's also as much as I hate that games are described this way ever, it is a anime Dark Souls game. But instead of the games that are just like weird generic games that are like, it's like a Dark Souls, this one is actually like it plays exactly the same. It just has an anime art style. It's called Code Vein.
I thought you were gonna say Neo.
No, God. God.
I mean, because Neo is Dark Souls-esque.
Yeah. But wasn't it made by some of the people that worked on like the early Dark Souls games?
I want to say so. I think it was like some Demon Souls people.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, Code Vein looks really good. I'm pretty excited for that as well.
Is that the one that's like Dark Souls mixed with Tokyo Ghoul?
Yes, that is absolutely what it is.
Dude, this upcoming Tuesday is the season finale for the season of Tokyo Ghoul. I think I would have enjoyed it more if I didn't finish reading it, because like they mixed around some things and they cut some things, but like they put 90% of it in, so that's kind of cool, which is important to note because in season 2 it was so vastly different that they are still retconning stuff from season 2.
So interesting thing about that in terms of a different series, I've talked a few times about Danmachi, or Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Which, great series. It's very enjoyable if anyone wants to check it out. It's not like super fan servicey or campy or anything like that. It's actually a pretty interesting world and story.
Yeah, same with Konosuba. You guys should watch that too.
But so the story was originally light novels, and then it got moved from light novels into an anime, and then the anime is being adapted into a manga. And I found that very interesting of the direction that it went in terms of how it became.
Yeah, that's a little backwards. Something similar is happening with Goblin Slayer, because Goblin Slayer was a light novel, but it was turned into a manga and then an anime. But the manga comes out with 1 chapter a month.
And so the anime is just racing ahead. Is that what you're saying?
The anime is about halfway through the manga at the moment, and it's already dipped into side manga in order to fill it out.
One of the interesting things that I have that I found out though is that so the first season of Danmachi is only 13 episodes long.
As are most animes. Actually 10 to 15, I feel.
Yeah, somewhere in that range. Very rarely you'll occasionally get like 26 episode seasons, which are rare as crap.
Fucking dope as shit.
But they're awesome. But anyway, in those 13 episodes, they cover 4 entire novels.
That's too much.
Unless
there's no substance in those novels.
The third novel,
it'd be like I guess that makes sense, because like it'd be like how shitty goddamn Sword Art is.
The third novel is done in 1 episode.
That's sad and disappointing.
Well, that's what I that's what I thought. I've not read the light novels, but the people that have are like, yeah, they kind of race through a couple things and they skip over some stuff here and there, but it's actually really well done. Even the original author himself was like, they did a really good job of turning an entire novel into 23 minutes of content, and it basically covered everything.
Surprise.
Woo! All right, anyway, I'm done. All right, you ready to get out of here, sir?
I'm gonna go back to sleep.
Go back to sleep, buddy. Please remember, everyone.
I'm just glad I woke up, in time to catch
some of it.
Yeah.
Please remember, everyone,
I caught
you
like
can
90 of it.
help support our show by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet, leaving, sharing, and following this show on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Reddit. All of those are at iReaditCast. You can pick up our merchandise in the link below. Yeah, any way that you can help out, just try and get another friend in the show. We would sincerely appreciate it. Otherwise, you can
also watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. right now in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, you have Little Feet fighting Aerosmith. So come watch it.
So it's important to your life and existence.
Yo, I'm telling you, the best part is that the guy who has Aerosmith, Narantia, is voiced by Izuku Midoriya. So at some point in the show, Narantia gets mad and he starts saying, "I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you," while kicking a car. And it makes me just think that Izuku is just trying to pretend to be
Bakugo.
Bakugo. Yeah, it's like the scene from My Hero where they're all disguised as other people trying to sneak into the villain society.
Yeah.
And Izuku's got the gangster like suit on and everything, and he's like, "Hey!"
He's badass.
But it's like that constantly.
Chadwick says leaving Patreon after the Sargon ban.
I remember seeing that name. I have not looked into.
I have
Sargon
no
ban.
idea, but I will.
But if it's anything like the Alex Jones band, then I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'll look into what it is that you're talking about, but I have not heard anything about it, Chadwick. But I will look into it just because I'm curious. But in any case, at that point, we're going to get out of here. You can follow me on social media at Sean Michael, Nathan at Bimmenstein. That is your 526th dose of the internet. I am Michael Schwan.
I'm Nathan.
And please remember, everybody.
Well, I didn't vote for you.
Goodbye.
Toodaloo.